What's up, boomers? In my last video, I shared my real life monthly budget as a retired guy still working full time. And let's just say the comments were lively. You guys pointed out some things I completely missed. Cat food, I think I underbid that a little bit. And I wanted to take a few minutes in this follow-up video about my budget in retirement to go through your top questions and reactions to that last video. The things I'm risking, because this isn't just about my budget. It's about our conversation on what retirement really costs in 2025. From housing to healthcare, pets, and everything in between. These are the real numbers that we are living with. If you missed that previous or first budget video, I'll leave a link in the description where you can go check it out. There's a lot of new subscribers as well, a couple hundred of you. I welcome you. This is What's Up Boomer, my channel. I'm Phil, and really the central core of this channel is my retirement journey, our retirement journey, and most importantly is making the best of the way things have turned out, particularly if, like me, you've ended up here, you woke up one day, 60-some years old, and you realize, I don't have enough. And I know that by the numbers, the majority of people, or near half, have nothing at retirement. So kind of like my Maserati video, I've been busted again. You've kind of pointed out some really good things about my budget analysis. Now, I want to say that as I approach this, I kind of kept it simple and light, and I just went over the previous 4 weeks of things I had spent money on. And I realized if you're going to have a successful budget and a successful retirement financially, you've got to watch where your money is going, because the number one or two worry of retirees is, will their money last? And it's even more imperative, obviously, with people like myself and, again, the majority of us that don't quite have enough in retirement to live like maybe we're used to living. I have to say that in the year that I've been making videos about boomer life, after 60, honestly, it's why, what I've come to realize is why I really enjoy making these videos and talking to you and having this community come together. And that is just not my opinions or my story, it's our story. And the comments, again, really hit home just how true that is when it comes to how we spend our money. Again, that last video was a little more successful than I thought it would be. It just shows, I think, the concern that we have and how important it is, how important our financial lives are after 60 years old. So I'm going to put the videos right here, your comments, and let's see, as I run through a number of these, where I missed the mark, or you got me thinking about some things I didn't really think through. All right, so the first one we're going to cover right here will be from Kathleen. How do you feed 2 cats for $25 a month? I have 2 cats also. They eat 2.5-ounce cans of food per day. And then dry food. I'm spending about $150 a month if you count cat litter also. Well, to be honest, I don't feed my cat. I starve my cats. Just kidding. I'm gonna have to take a closer look at it. I forgot about the cat litter. That's kind of expensive. So I feed them twice a day, though. I let them munch on like a kibble or whatever it's called, a dry cat food, throughout the day. And then I feed them, I portion some wet food. They get wet food every day, twice a day, but just a little bit, because I think, anyway, I'm thinking I'll easily have to double the cost of my cat food to over $50 a month. And then maybe with that Yeah. So I'll have to up that a little bit. All right. Next comment from Mike. Mike says, "You're alive but not living." Well, we could understand that a few different ways. I understand, Mike, that I live this simple life. I'm actually very happy with that. I did write a comment that said, "What? I'm alive but not living. What? If this isn't living, don't let my cats know. They think they're on a luxury cruise." So, right now I'm doing what I kind of want to do right now. Work is good, although I don't plan to keep working as particularly full time and even part time in the future. I have, I travel. I've taken a couple trips. One to see my grandkids, one to visit the Sphere. I wanted to see the Sphere in Vegas. I was there just a few days before the Wizard of Oz was starting, and had I known that, I would have paid the $100 and some dollars, $104 to go see that. I think because what I'm doing now and how I'm budgeting my money is on activities and things that are going to, what do they say, collect memories. I'm collecting memories. So that's what living is for me now. It's not, it's not driving the Maserati. It's not, it's not eating at the fancy restaurants. It's not trying to impress anybody, because those are the memories I don't want to repeat. But anyway, I think I'm doing okay. I'm living just fine, and I think it's going to get better because of an international trip I actually have budgeted for, and we'll be leaving in about a month. More on that to come. Subscribe, keep watching. I think you'll enjoy that. And all right, next comment from Mark. "I don't see medical expenses for the girls or for you. If you go on Medicare, you'd add about $200 a month plus the $275 yearly deductible. And if you get the Gap letter plan, around $200 more for the G plan, or you go with the Advantage plan, you get." Yeah, so I know that right now, for those of you who did look at that, I have medical coverage through my work. And if you work for a company, I think it's with over 100 employees, and you take their medical plan, you can delay taking Medicare. And so that's what I've done. Now, should I quit working for a company with a plan, a health care plan, then I will have 90 days, I believe, to make my decision for medical coverage and my deductible and all that stuff. And I've looked a little bit into that. I understand I am going to have to, it's going to be a couple $100 easily for what I probably will enroll in. Now, I have to say this. I never see my deductible, so I kind of don't really, I know it's an expense. I just know what I net every 2 weeks, my paycheck, and the deductible is kind of an automatic thing at that point. So it's like taken care of. So I know what to expect on my my income, and so that's why I didn't itemize that out. But I know that's a expense, and I have it budgeted in my mind that when I move on, I'll be having to pick that cost up. There's another one about, what about Medicare payment? So yeah, got it covered. Another one, no health care. Yes, health care. I kind of like this one by Suzanne. Cats need to get jobs. You know what? I may have to pick up another couple one if I can find a job for the cats. It could be income producing, maybe for mousers. Okay, take a look at this one here. Granted, as if you couldn't tell, my budget has been a loose one, and I'm sure people will say, well, that's why you don't have anything for retirement. No, that's not it at all. I'll probably go into more detail what exactly happened to all that money I was religiously investing in every month, and explain that a little bit more and it falls into that life happens category. I've seen many of your comments that I know you went through very similar things. You people out there that, you had to tap into those. Well, this one, I've been a budgeter for years, and I budget not only for regular monthly expenses, but also for true expenses. I like this. Christmas, car repair, car tires, car maintenance, etc., really adds up. I'd be curious what your true budget looked like if you accounted for vet visits for your kittens, gifts for the grandbabies, etc. Great, really a legit question. And here's my thinking at least at this point. Again, I don't do a lot of that. I've not had to take the cats to the vet. The Sweet Pea will be going in soon to get spayed. And that's about it, and get her shots. But they're indoor cats. I try to watch how much they eat. I try to buy a little bit better quality food. And, I think cats, at least in my experience of growing up, I don't take them to a yearly checkup. I know they appreciate that. As far as car maintenance, in the 6 years, maybe 5 years I've owned that car, I've had very little problems with it. I go under the guise of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And the Avalon is just been amazing. It is a low cost vehicle, and yes, an expense for that, if it comes up, will come out of my savings, of which, like I said, I'm primarily saving as much as I can, so that I have enough to cover from my savings anything, even replacing the car should I have to. That's the way I look at it. So if I've got to go in for a repair of a few hundred to a few thousand, if it gets up to more than a few thousand, I'm probably replacing the car. That's the beauty of having a 25-year-old car. Gets to the point where, hey, I'll just go out and get maybe a 15-year-old car and try to drive it 10 years. So, gifts for the grandkids, the birthday, those again come out of what I would classify as my savings, and I'm trying to increase my savings every single month. Again, put in the comments, how your advisement for those of you who really run a good budget, how you might break that down, or what I might do is I might take my savings account and do the bucket system. I've just learned about that, but I know that with some of the banks online and stuff, they have a bucket system, and that's what I might do, is start putting the grandkids bucket, savings, the car, etc., kind of just divide it up. What do you think? Okay, this one, I like this one. Are the Costco and Sam's Club memberships included in the subscriptions? No, they weren't. And again, because it wasn't a cost I had the last month, and I know I need to kind of dollar cost average that out for 12 months, because Sam's, I do pay about $119 for the year. I have their upgraded. Costco, I downgraded to the $65 plan. I almost see those as, they're almost like an asset. I know that sounds stupid or crazy, but they pay for themselves. So I pay for them one time every year, and within 3 months, just with normal spending, nothing extravagant, just by doing, my food, my gas, and my household items, paper towels, that type of thing, it pays for itself within 3-4 months, both of them. So, and then after that, I feel like I'm saving money every month by shopping at Costco and Sam's. So again, I see that out of a bucket, that as long as I have a healthy savings, I can afford those 2 subscriptions and kind of consider them as separate. I kind of like this. I see this a lot. Working full-time, retirement doesn't make sense. I can understand that, but it does, unless you're really holding on to the traditional retirement lives. And I have a video about that coming up, because there's a lot of if you look at the history of retirement, it's a fairly new concept in our world here within the last 3 generations. So, but yes, working in retirement, especially today, for a plethora of reasons, it does work. And again, I think it's more of, oh for 3. It does make sense today more than ever. And again, I see now retirement as a tremendous opportunity to change your mindset. And that can be, you can still be working, or you could be traveling or whatever, but the mindset should be the same. I'll get to that in a future video. What about healthcare and home and car repairs? Yeah, but I already kind of talked about the healthcare. Again, I did some thinking on this. Let me just be frank. Even with decent insurance, let alone good insurance, if a major health event happens in your life, I don't think you can be prepared for it. So I have this. This made me think. These comments you brought up about how do we prepare? How do we save for healthcare? We can have the insurance, but depending on what happens, out-of-pocket expenses I know can be limited, but I've just decided to take care of my health the best I can with exercise, stress reduction, very important, understanding what foods we should be eating, and all that's available with board-certified doctors that are out there talking about metabolic health, which has really impacted me. Anyway, I think there comes a point where you got to be smart. You got to have the best insurance you can afford. You got to have your savings, and then after that, I think that's good enough. I don't want to get into the mode of my primary point of existence in these retirement years, in these final years, the final decade or 2 of life, is all about saving in case I have a medical emergency. Because the reality is, and I'm comfortable with this, if it's a big thing, then I think you might have to come to terms with what that means. I don't know. More to discuss on that. Now, as far as home repairs, car repairs, again, I think it's be smart what you buy. I still think the best way to go is pay cash, buy a used car, buy a dependable, having a dependable repair reliability record. I've had very good luck with that for years and years. And then home repair is kind of a scary one. I've pretty much done as much as I can with the expensive stuff, like painting it or re-roofing it. I'm at an age though now, I probably can't do, I can't do that. I probably shouldn't do it. Climbing up an 8-foot, 10-foot ladder onto the roof, I'm a little nervous about that now. And I've had some plumbing repairs, and I have some remodeling stuff still to do. Number one, it'll get done when it gets done. I may just end up selling as is. But home repairs are something that I've realized now, particularly with listening to a number of other retirees on their YouTube channels. This is a huge thing that is often not thought about. Like a roof can be anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000 or more to replace, and these are costs that I hadn't thought about that before. I may be insurance. Well, I don't know. These are things that have to be considered, and I guess they will play out depending on how much money you have and how you want to do that. Okay, here's we're getting into more of the nitty-gritty. No clothes, haircut, gifts, donations, household and personal supplies, car maintenance, repairs, healthcare, medical, dental, eye, drugs, road trips. I pay for almost all of that in my mind. I guess the haircut thing, I did miss that. I did get a haircut recently, can you tell? And that I usually pay $30 for. So, and yeah, no clothes. No, I don't buy clothes very often. I don't need a budget for. I probably spend less than $100 a year on clothes. So again, that just will come out of my savings. Although I could probably do a bucket for clothing in my savings account. This bucket system is starting to make sense to me now as I talk to you about how I take these things out of my savings. I think I understand now that's what the bucket system is about. So yeah, gifts and donations, I tend to just give once again out of, I don't have a budget per se on those, but I do usually take those kinds of things out of my surplus. This does lend to the fact of there comes a time when is it worth to own? Is it less expensive to rent? There's a lot of argument out there that says it's better to rent and not be responsible for all these things. Definitely a decision as we hit the retirement years, whether to rent or continue to own. And I bring this one up for the thank you for that comment. And here again, this person who lives here actually, health insurance question mark. What do you have with Medicare? Not yet, but soon, I think. And Home Depot give you so Home Depot is my primary insurance. All full-time employees have the option with that. Kind of lucky at this time. It went up. I think I pay $150 or so a month, $160 with Home Depot. I have a high deductible, but again, I don't even think about it because I just know what I clear on a bi-weekly basis, and that's what I budget around. And by the way, AZ Wife says, congrats on 10K subs. Thank you very much. It was a milestone. Well, again, I want to thank all the people that have left these comments and left all the comments as well that said that you did get some value out of it. You enjoyed it. I think what was nice is you related, and it's nice to know there are other people that some of you even listed some of your expenses, and I thought, wow, we're like really close. So we're obviously in a similar lifestyle path. But it kind of shows how easy it is to forget or overlook stuff that we spend our money on, that we budget for, the things that we budget for. And also interestingly is how we group things in our budgets. Like for me, I've kind of always been this way, but in my mind I have, my savings is kind of for these things that I'm paying and that I know, like for example, the haircut. I've had it on budgets before, but those kinds of costs and expenses, I tend to just group. So what I think I'm going to do though, coming up is I've never done this. I've tried and have never done it. And I know the budgeters are going to just say, I'm crazy that I've never done this, but I'm going to keep track of every penny. Now I've always kept track of my spending, but not to the level of every penny for 1 month. They talk about that being so important and that it changes you. So it'll be after, my trip is coming up in about a month. So I will be keeping a budget for that, but I'll need to get a month after that, maybe after the holidays, where I come back and we readdress this issue of the things that we spend our money, the things that I'm spending my money on, where it's going. Well, that wraps it up today. Those are some of the main comments that I've gotten thus far. The last video continues to be watched at a pretty good clip. Leave a comment here if you've got a budget-minded pointer that might benefit all of us. Possibly also, what budget item possibly do you fear the most? And what budget item do you think, I think there are budget items where I'm just thinking you can't prepare for it. You can only prepare up to a certain point, and in my opinion, that would be like a healthcare cost. Well, hard to wrap this one up. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Come join me at SKOOL.